In today's video, we are going to talk about a topic that I'm sure you are very interested in. And it is, why is it so difficult for Cubans to leave Cuba? And what are the ways they use, and why is it so risky for each Cuban to leave the country? So stay in the video. Hi! Good morning, my beautiful, lovely people. There's a lot of sun here today. I'm Anita, and I create videos about life in Cuba for this platform and YouTube. I invite you to subscribe for free by clicking the little red subscribe button below. And you can like this little video from now on because I know you're going to like it. You've asked about this topic on Instagram and elsewhere, so it's clearly of interest to you. And it's not a lie that you've asked me to make a video about it. It's not that you really asked me, and you know you asked me. So today we're going to talk about that specific topic. I want to tell you that in Cuba, a different climate is already being felt. It's no longer hot. That unbearable heat we have here in the summer or most of the year, it's feeling like a cool breeze, something more pleasant. And well, you can see today that it's a super beautiful day. Well, super beautiful because of nature, you know? Because of the weather, natural things. Because you also asked me if I already have electricity. If such, well, I think the general blackout is over. In the video, they asked me, do you see me looking? Why do you look so much? It's just that sometimes I look, you know? Because people look at me when I'm talking. It's not very common yet to see someone talking to their phone here in Cuba. It's something seen, it's strange. Even people are afraid to appear on cameras. So that's why sometimes I look to see who's looking at me. I don't know, because I feel the gaze weighing on me. So let's see, are blackouts not going to end in Cuba? As long as our situation persists, blackouts will continue just as they have since my childhood and long before. The thermal power plants here lack capacity, breaking down frequently and getting fixed only temporarily before breaking again the same day. The blackouts will continue, as I was informed 2 or 3 days ago. They don't cut off the power as much. According to reports, Pinar del Rio, the area most affected by the hurricane, still lacks electricity. And so there's like less consumption for that reason. But I do know in other places the power is going out for many hours. Same, who else are you dancing to right now? Not so much right now. I don't know when I'll upload this video if there will be, strong blackouts again. I wanted to let you know that today is a beautiful day. I got up and decided to stay at home to make this little video for you, as mentioned in the title. But first, join me for breakfast because I want to show something to the people of Spain. Do you see me happy? Because, today I woke up a little bit happy, joyful for personal reasons. Sometimes one wakes up happy and other times one wakes up sad. Look at this face. Well, I'm here trying my little breakfast. Look, this was given to me by a follower, a subscriber. It's like this, like a little powder that you put in the coffee, like a little cut like this, and it's super tasty. Look at the bread from Cuba, because you have to see the bread from Cuba. This is a bread they sell in these little houses, like these people on the street. But look at that bread. I mean, it's like, then I'm going to toast it a little bit, so it's a bit more decent for commerce. Since I don't have a toaster, I'm toasting it right here in the pan, so I'm going to eat the bread with this mayonnaise. This mayonnaise was taken out yesterday at the MLC dollar stores, and a huge line formed. In Cuba, mayonnaise is only sold every 3 months, causing huge lines to form when it becomes available. I was then reading the mayonnaise. Very funny because it even has its own social media and everything. And it says it's from Seville, Spain. I'm surprised that there are so many products from Spain that are being sold here in Cuba lately. In fact, I also bought this custard that they brought out and people were buying a lot of it. When released products are popular, people purchase them here. Hyper Dino brand, which is the brand of the Canary Islands. And gentlemen, I have to tell you that there are many things from this brand here in Cuba, many. This was not common before, but now it is. And the other thing I bought yesterday was this, which are corn kernels. Well, here we call it corn, not elote, but they call it elote because this is made in Mexico. So products from Spain and Mexico here in Cuba. Gentlemen, and well, I bought those 3 little things, and do you know how much it cost me? Like 8 MLC, which is about $8, not exactly cheap. And well, here is my little toasted bread. Look how it falls apart. It's just that the flour here in Cuba is very bad. The best way to eat bread is toasting it with mayonnaise. I have a little glass of milk with coffee here. Well, give me 5 little minutes to have breakfast and I'll be right with you in today's video, which is a very interesting topic. As mentioned in the title, I wanted to share my morning routine with you, including what I had for breakfast. I wanted to show you because, oh, this is slipping. I'm surprised at the amount of products from Spain that they were selling here in the supermarkets. You could see from the start of the video that I had already fixed myself up. I showed you my all disheveled self, just got up. But well, here I am again with you a little bit fixed up to make this video for you. Exactly, the topic of today's video is how hard is it for Cubans to leave Cuba? You ask me this a lot, the question that is most repeated on my YouTube channel and Instagram. And it's all about, do you plan to leave the country? Why haven't you left the country? Because everyone is leaving, exactly, yes, everyone is leaving, but it takes everyone their time. Everyone uses the strategy and path they can, so it takes time. We are on time. You are going to ask me that question and, well, for now I can't answer that, but yes, when it happens, you will be the first to know. Of course, one thing they do ask me is why is it so difficult to leave Cuba? That's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to talk about why it's so difficult for some Cubans to leave Cuba because for others it's not. And why there are many Cubans who perhaps won't be able to leave Cuba. Because it's not easy at all. First, it takes a lot of money. It requires a lot of support from a person you have abroad. If you don't have anyone abroad, it's very difficult to achieve that. Here in Cuba, excuse the mess. Continuing with the topic, it's not easy for everyone. There are people who perhaps will never be able to leave because they don't have the economy, nor do they have a relative to help them. It's very difficult to leave Cuba with your salary if you're a state worker, salaried by choice, that is a monthly salary. Now, a dollar on the black market is 200 pesos. Imagine if you want to save $2,000 to travel, I don't know, to some country, then I don't even know if $2,000 is a figure with which one can travel. I have never traveled, but imagine wanting to save money while earning a salary. It's just that the salary already, the Cuban peso has fallen so much that I don't even know how much we charge. Let me calculate how much I'd earn as an engineer. The dollar at 200 pesos. Wait a second. Calculating a salary of about 4,000 Cuban pesos divided by 200, which is $1, it's at 200 pesos. As of today, a professional here is already earning close to $20 or much less, some more. $20 right now is the salary of a Cuban, and as the days go by, well, that value is going to fall much more. If I want to save $2,000 to travel, being an ordinary Cuban salaried, I don't know, $20, which is what I earn a month, $2,000 divided by 20. I would have to save about 100 months, and 100 months divided by 12. How many years is that? 8 years, about 9 years. Sure, saving your entire salary, you would have to save, and how are you going to live? It's impossible. It's impossible. Would a Cuban have to save without spending any of their monthly salary? 8 years to gather $2,000 to maybe be able to travel. So you can imagine, it's impossible. An ordinary Cuban working for the state, this is a calculation I just made up, but understand the situation. They won't be able to leave the country without extra assistance, family help, or selling their house and belongings. It's like a life you've created here and you get rid of everything you've achieved. Because here you can't prosper, you don't have a future to start from scratch in another country, and people of all ages are doing this. I'm going to explain the methods that Cubans use to leave Cuba, since Cuba has very few countries. Like they give you a free visa, the Cuban passport is not very, And some of the ones that give you a free visa are not countries that Cubans prefer to go to. Most Cubans want to go to the United States, since we have a lot of Cuban family in the United States. Others prefer to go to Spain, Italy, Mexico. These are the countries that Cubans prefer. None of these countries give you a free visa. You have to apply for a visa, and the whole visa process is quite complicated, quite costly. What do Cubans use? What do they do to leave the country? Most illegally, because legally it's a minority. Why do Cubans emigrate? This question doesn't need to be asked. If you're aware of the situation in Cuba, you understand the reasons why Cubans are emigrating. Because in addition to the severe economic situation, we know that we don't have a future here. Neither the university student, nor the farmer, nor the worker. Creating a future in Cuba is currently impossible. It is estimated that more than 2 million Cubans live outside the island. The only beautiful thing that is practically left in Cuba is nature and tourist places, which of course are enjoyed by tourists and very few Cubans. Young Cubans are emigrating by any means through any route. No matter the risks this implies, many prefer to take that risk rather than continue to stay here in Cuba. Now, many countries require a visa for Cubans. For what reason? Well, because Cubans are potential immigrants, and the world knows that. I was looking for information on the internet, and look what it says here. Many countries offer visa-free entry for Cubans, but as mentioned, they mainly prefer to emigrate to the United States. 80% of this is searched on the internet. I'm not sure if it's accurate, but what do you think? Followed far behind by Spain, where 8.55% go, and Italy, 2.25%. In this year, 2022, this phenomenon has increased too much. One of the ways is the following. Some Cubans have opted for study and research visas for Spain, for Mexico, Peru, or Chile, or tourist visas that allow them to move to other destinations. From Russia to countries like the European Union, Russia is a country that has visa-free for Cubans. Right now, there are no trips due to the issue about the existing conflict. Until recently, Russia was a visa-free country and many Cubans were emigrating there. And then they were crossing several countries until they reached a destination in Europe. And other countries to which they emigrate here in Latin America to Uruguay. Right now, there is a large wave of Cubans who are going to Uruguay, buying tickets to Guyana, and then hopping borders through Brazil until they reach Uruguay. And they have settled in Uruguay. I know many Cubans. My friend Amalia Bella is over there in Uruguay. And there are also many Cubans who apply for a visa to Panama. And this is mainly to keep hopping until they reach the United States, which is the main destination. Also, because a relative claims you, for example, there are many people who are now going to the United States because they have their dad, their mom, and they have a claim to their wife, They go to the embassy in Guyana for the interview. If approved, they fly directly to the United States. Illegals on a boat or dinghy. It's historic in Cuba, the departure of Cubans by boats, by dinghies, by artifacts that they themselves invent cars, car tires. It's incredible the creativity of the Cubans to leave the country in this way, although it's the way that I consider most risky. I'm terrified of the sea because many people have drowned or gone missing in it. The sea really frightens me, and I respect it a lot. There were many Cubans who arrived in Florida on rustic boats, either to the Keys or to Florida itself. Reaching the coast meant being able to take this to the Cuban Adjustment Act, the top one of the most popular ways to leave Cuba this year. 2022 tried Nicaragua. Since the end of 2021, this door to emigrate to the United States through Nicaragua opened. In November of 2021, Nicaragua announced that they were removing the requirements to go. That is, for Cubans to travel with a visa that is visa-free for Nicaragua, you just had to get your ticket. And this has generated a mass exodus from the island. Look at this that I read here on the internet. According to data from the United States Customs and Border Protection Office, almost 178,000 Cubans have emigrated through Nicaragua this year. Many go with money borrowed from their relatives living in the United States. But many, as I already mentioned, sell their houses, their clothes, their car, everything they have, they sell in order to afford it. This journey is costly. I'll tell you roughly how much the entire trip costs, with the ticket being extremely expensive. The high demand for tickets from Havana to Managua has led to a huge increase in prices because there is too much demand. The tickets sell out in days. It's quite hard to get a ticket. And these prices range between $3,000 and $4,000. $3,000 or $4,000 for a ticket to Managua. Round trip, because people have to buy the round trip. When you're in Nicaragua, that's where all this coyote business is handled. and you start to cross, there's a person waiting for you who takes you to Honduras. From Honduras to Guatemala, Guatemala to Mexico. And in Mexico, that's like the slightly more difficult stretch to be there for the crossing and such. And then you jump to the United States. All of this is a super rigorous journey, also extremely extreme, and well, it's not easy at all. And the journey in total, how much does it cost you? Well, according to my information on the internet, and well, friends, who doesn't have a friend, a family that has left? I have friends, I have close family who have left through Nicaragua. And well, this costs around the journey, all in all, $10,000. Well, in this journey, they also run many risks, that they turn you back, that they deport you. But well, most of the people I know have managed to arrive and are gradually settling in the United States. And well, gentlemen, here I commented on some of the ways that Cubans choose to leave Cuba. And you can already see that it's not easy at all. It's not like you who maybe live in a country and ask for a visa and they give it to you easily and you can travel and go on vacation to Europe being, what do I know, from Brazil. No, for Cubans, that's very laborious, even for Cubans who travel, who come and go. That's like a luxury. A few years ago here in Cuba when I was studying, none of my classmates had ever been on a plane. For a Cuban, traveling by plane is considered a luxury. Well, gentlemen, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it interesting, informative. Why is it not so easy to leave Cuba? What are the methods? Why do Cubans leave and many do not want to return? So, well, I hope you liked it. It's like liked, informed. A big kiss and see you. Remember that every Friday there is a new video. So subscribe to this channel, activate the notification bell, give it a like. See you next Friday in a new video. Until then, have a great weekend. Bye.